Hey everybody, how you doing? Time for another video. So this one's gonna be a bit different. My past videos again have all been very informational, and this one is actually I just want to focus on a particular um, type of supernatural being. So another one of these. Um, these are not always adversaries. In fact, a lot of them tend to be pretty good people. Yeah, I'll talk about it in a sec. So what I'm talking about here is skinwalkers, and I've done a video about them before, but I talk to them a lot as adversaries, and I like to just kind of like expand upon them and expand on what they do. So just to start off, skinwalkers are human, although they can be either psychic or a magic user, usually a magic user, because most psychics are not really capable of doing this. Um, Personally, but it's not something that involves it doesn't necessarily require you to be a psychic in order for you to do it, but there are things about it that are psychic in origin. And I'll do a video on psychics actually really soon because I know a lot of people want to hear about that. Um, so, what a skinwalker is a human being who has mastered movement of their soul or of their spiritual body. So, what a skinwalker does is they can sit in a rested position somewhere, um, be it their house or a safe place. A lot of times they'll do it in a place where they know they cannot be hurt, and then they will astral project, which I'm sure many of you have heard of. So they project their spirit out of their body, and then they let it travel about. So skinwalkers can do several things with this. As their spirit is traveling, most skinwalkers will have it take a shape. This can be like a bird, a wolf, a dog, a cat, any of these forms. And then in that form, being that they have a lot of energy just from their body in general, they can make these things into very um, powerful structures, kind of like a ghost. These structures are capable of being harmed the same way as a ghost with like iron or blessed objects. And when this happens, the skinwalker, if they are harmed in that form, will often retain the injury on their body. It's really weird. It's called trans-spiritual wound migration, I think is the proper term. Point is, wherever they get hit, it shows up on their body because as that spiritual body collapses, it transmits the wound. Not necessarily in a bleeding kind of way, but in like a serious pain. Often it will affect the body in a very serious way, and it's very dangerous for the person. Another thing that they might do is when they send their spirit out, they can have it take possession of an animal. This is actually rather easy. The mentality of an animal, like the brain structure and the mental functioning of an animal, isn't all that advanced compared to a human. So it's much easier for a human to gain access into them and then control them. If you've ever read like the Game of Thrones books or watched Game of Thrones, there are characters called wargs, which are basically capable of doing that. They send their soul or their consciousness into a animal and are capable of controlling it. And it's very similar here. And in fact, a lot of skinwalkers will actually have animals around them that they can control. Not all of them, but some of them. But for the most part, most skinwalkers you'll come across just send out their spirit and then transform it into a given form. Um, these are not to be confused with what I would consider a werewolf. Um, a werewolf is a human who's possessed by a wolf spirit, be that either a animal's spirit or a demon that looks like a wolf. And then and through this possession, they transmit a lot of not only features in terms of a perceived physical sense, but also a lot of strength, endurance, things like that. Um, Skinwalkers are really just playing around with the rules of reality. Um, the Skinwalker, by its very nature, is a fluid being. He's capable of taking many shapes, many forms. Each one has its own abilities, but a lot of them are challenging. Every single one of these things has some rules it has to follow, um, but they're also not following the same rules. The Skinwalker uses these spiritual bodies that he creates, such as birds or animals, as avatars for him to travel. And there are, in fact, Skinwalkers who are um, paraplegic or incapable of really like going outside, and it's pretty awesome for those who can do it. The problem becomes when they're doing it and then harming others, which can be the case. Not always, but sometimes. Um, in fact, with a lot of supernatural abilities, it kind of gets to people's head, and they feel like they can just do whatever they want without the consequences, which sucks. But a majority of skinwalkers are actually pretty cool people. The downside is that skinwalkers working for the other side um, are capable of astral projection and not showing up, like not having a genuine like appearance. In Native American mythology, it's said that skinwalkers can cause their eyes to travel, which is not technically correct because their eyes aren't traveling, but they will see you. They can be there and you wouldn't even notice. Psychics will notice because psychics have enhanced perception, but your average Joe like me will not notice that, and that can be dangerous. There are spells against them, there's all kinds of things you can do, but really the most important thing is just to tell the person to stop if they're doing something that is harmful. Um, if they're harming others, then you got yourself quite a issue. They're very powerful, be careful. But yeah, they're not all bad. There's actually a lot of good ones. They're just doing what they want to do. And that's really true. With a lot of supernatural things, I don't feel like it's necessary to hunt everything. I just think that it's important to know where everybody is. Um, hunting should only hunting should only be for things that are dangerous to humanity. In the case of a skinwalker, this would be a skinwalker who is harming people or harming children, um, gathering like the blood of virgins for a sacrifice, something along those lines. Otherwise, they're not harmful by nature. Um, yeah, you can look up various myths, but pretty much, um, if you have to deal with one, iron or blessed objects works. But don't just fly off the handle if you find one. Be kind. Talk to the skinwalker if you can find out who it is. Hell, even learn how they do it. It's quite fascinating to hear how different people go about doing it. Um, they're just humans like you and me, psychics, witches, whatever you want to call them. Um, you know, hunting is about finding the things that are killing people. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing our job for. I do these videos to teach you how to defend yourself and how to hunt properly, not so that you can just go around killing all the supernaturals in the world. Um, and yeah, a lot of people in this day and age want to be supernatural beings, and I get the hype. I mean, it's kind of cool to be able to travel anywhere you want to, but not for me. If you want to become a skinwalker, I'm sure there's ways you can find out. Just don't do anything stupid, otherwise you'll have to answer to me, okay? So last little bit of this video, I want to talk a little bit more about the network that I'm trying to forge together. I got a few other cool names. I'm thinking about it a lot today. Um, there's just so much I want to do with it. Like, so much. If you, the viewer, can help me out here with ideas, that'd be awesome. Really, the point of this whole thing is to get people together. It's not to militarize, it's not to centralize, it's simply to get information going around. There's a lot of people who are not willing to be hunters, but are totally willing to be watchers, who will, just document things, and that's really all that is needed. The central base is going to have to be sort of like a job, like a legit job, because they'll be stockpiling um, dangerous artifacts or dangerous things. They'll be gathering information from all around the country. So yeah, just keep that going. For anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, please look at my last video. Alright, so thank you guys for watching this video. Rate, comment, subscribe, and happy hunting.